Learning how to make fried rice with ground beef is easy and delicious. This is a really quick and cheap way to use up odds and ends. And since I am a Southern chef, I'm going to add a Southern twist to this. I think it's really going to be great. Here in this pan, I have about 2 teaspoons of canola oil. Over here, I have my ground beef, about 1/4 pound of lean ground beef, 93.7. I recently made a French onion soup casserole. I'm not quite sure which video will be up first. It was delicious, but there is some ground beef left over. It's not enough to do much with, but it is enough to make fried rice. I have 1 cup of cold rice, 1 egg, and here I have my vegetables. Already chopped up, 1 medium yellow onion, 1 small carrot that I grated on a cheese grater, 2 green onions. The bottom part I already chopped up, but the leaves I'm leaving whole for now, as well as 3 garlic cloves that are still whole at the minute, for right now. The way that I'm changing this up is that instead of using soy sauce, I am using Worcestershire sauce. I think that Worcestershire sauce is going to be great because it has that same umami flavor that soy sauce does, and I just have a feeling it's going to be really good. I think that Worcestershire sauce brings out the beefiness in beef. So, like I said, this is a delicious twist on an old favorite. I am going to turn on the heat up the oil, and then I'm going to add my onions. My oil is now hot. It's on medium-high heat, gas mark 4 out of 6. I set the garlic cloves and the tops of the green onions off to the side, but everything else goes in. And now I'm going to saute while stirring for about 4 minutes. I actually just realized that I completely and totally forgot to add the ground beef, even though the ground beef is the whole point of this fried rice recipe. So when you add your vegetables, add in your ground beef as well. The ground beef, onions, and carrots have now been cooking for 4 minutes. So now I'm going to add my chopped garlic. I chopped it finely. Now I'm going to add it, and I'm going to cook it for 1 minute while stirring constantly. Now that the garlic has been cooking for 1 minute, I'm going to add the rice. So before I do, I'm going to add just a little more oil because it looks like the pan is drying out. So I'm going to add probably 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of oil. I'm trying to keep the oil to the minimum so that I can watch the calories a bit. Actually, I'm probably going to need more than that. The bad thing about fried rice is that it definitely does require some oil. Hence the name. Here I have my 1 cup of cooked white rice. I'm just going to empty it in. This is cooked. It's obviously dry. Now I'm going to break it up and mix it in with the vegetables and the ground beef. My fried rice with ground beef is now almost ready. I had to turn down the heat so that I could break up the rice. What I would recommend is fluffing the rice a little bit before adding it to the pan. That way you don't waste time. Now I'm going to turn the heat back up. I'm going to put it on medium. I think actually medium high might be a bit too much. And now for what's really going to add the flavor. The Worcestershire sauce. It's hard to say, but it's delicious. I am going to start off with 2 tablespoons then I will see if I want to add more. I'm going to go by how it looks. I think that actually 3, because usually I add 3 tablespoons of regular soy sauce, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of the Worcestershire sauce. As I mix that in, I'm also going to add the green onion tops. The green onion. And I'm going to make a hole in the middle for my egg. I'm going to add 1 egg. I'm going to stir it around to scramble. After about a minute of mixing the egg in, you can see that it is now fully cooked and my fried rice with ground beef is done. I turn off the heat, so now it's time to serve. Simply going to dump it onto this plate. Here. This smells absolutely fantastic. It looks delicious. As you just saw, learning how to make fried rice with ground beef is really easy. That's really good because this was absolutely delicious. As with a lot of my recipes lately, this was an experiment, but it turned out great. Just like I had predicted, the Worcestershire sauce did a really good job of bringing out the beefiness of the ground beef, while also adding the umami flavor normally provided by soy sauce. I honestly thought it was perfect, except that some people might want to add a little bit of salt. I think that Worcestershire sauce might be less salty than regular soy sauce. As with all other fried rice recipes, make sure that all of your ingredients are chopped and ready to go when you start, that you use day-old or at least cold and dry rice, and that you aren't afraid to use a little bit more oil than you normally would. Other than those 3 things to keep in mind, this dish is really easy, quick, and simple, so I hope that you give it a try. I know you'll love it just as much as I did. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.